The river is black, not from mud, not from floods, from ink. 400,000 books, the greatest collection of human knowledge ever assembled in one place, are being thrown into the Tigris River. Medical texts written by Ibn Sina, mathematical formulas by al-Khwarizmi, astronomical charts that took 200 years to draw, philosophy, poetry, medicine, architecture, all of it sinking. For 1 week, horses walk across the books. The river runs 2 colors, black from the ink, red from the blood. This is Baghdad, February 1258. But this story doesn't begin here. It begins exactly 24 hours earlier. You are Ibrahim al-Basri, senior scholar of the House of Wisdom, and you have one decision to make. The 24 hours left, January 29, 1258. Baghdad, you wake up at the call to Fajr prayer, same as every morning for the last 22 years. The House of Wisdom smells like old parchment and lamp oil, 36 libraries, 400,000 manuscripts. You have spent your entire adult life inside these walls, copying, translating, cataloging. You know the location of every single scroll. Today, something is different. A merchant from the Eastern Gate knocked on your door last night. He said 3 words. They are coming. You climb to the roof, to the northeast, barely visible in the pre-dawn light smoke. Not one fire, dozens, spread across the horizon like a slow, moving sunset in the wrong direction. You have heard the stories. You know what happened to Nishapur. They killed every man, woman, child, and even the cats and dogs. You know what happened to Samarkand, 1 million people gone. You know Hulagu Khan's letter to your caliph, sent 4 months ago. I will bring you crashing down from the summit of the sky. I will not leave a single person alive in your country. The caliph laughed at that letter, called Hulagu young and ignorant. But Hulagu has 138,000 soldiers at the gates, and Baghdad has 50,000. Half of them have never held a weapon. You look at the smoke for a long time. Then you go back inside to the books. 18 hours left. January 29, 1258. Midday, city center. The city feels wrong. The market is quiet. Usually, Baghdad, the largest city in the world, home to 1.2 million people, roars with sound. Spice sellers, silk traders, poets performing in coffee houses, scholars arguing in the streets. This city invented algebra. It mapped the stars. It translated every piece of Greek wisdom into Arabic so it could survive. For 500 years, Baghdad was the intellectual capital of the planet. Today, people are moving in small groups, speaking in whispers. A Mongol messenger arrived at the city gates this morning. His message was simple: surrender now. Lay down your weapons. Open the gates. You will be spared. The caliph's response was delivered by 3 low-ranking officials. He sent no army. He sent no payment. He sent mockery. Your colleague, an old translator named Yusuf, grabs your arm in the corridor. Ibrahim, he says, I heard the caliph said the entire Muslim world will rise and defend us. You look at him. No army is coming. The Mamluks in Egypt hate the caliph. The Ayyubids in Syria are too divided. There is no cavalry riding to Baghdad today. How many books can you carry? You ask Yusuf. He doesn't answer. You walk back to the library alone and you start counting. 12 hours left. January 29, 1258 evening. You stand in the center of the main hall of the House of Wisdom. All around you, shelves reaching 20 feet high. Manuscripts in Arabic, Persian, Greek, Sanskrit, Syriac, Chinese. Works that exist nowhere else on earth. The only surviving copy of Ibn al-Haytham's complete book of optics, the foundation of modern physics, is on the shelf 12 feet to your left. Al-Biruni's geographical calculations. Al-Razi's medical encyclopedia. Treatises on astronomy that took a century to compile. Some of these manuscripts were carried here from Alexandria, from Constantinople, from Persia. Every great civilization's knowledge, protected, translated, multiplied. You cannot save all of it. You do the math. A horse can carry about 40 kilograms. A bundled manuscript, maybe 0.5 kg each. That's 80 scrolls per horse. You have access to 3 horses. That is 2 to 40 manuscripts out of 400,000. You begin to walk the shelves with a lamp. You are not choosing what to save. You are choosing what to let die. Al-Khwarizmi's algebra. Yes. You carry it to the pile. Ibn Sina's complete canon of medicine. Yes. The star atlas drawn by al-Battani, yes. The philosophical debates recorded by al-Kindi, you hold it for a moment, you put it back on the shelf, you don't have room. 8 hours left. January 30, 1258, 2 a.m. Eastern Wall. You hear them before you see them. The sound begins as a distant drumbeat, steady, rhythmic, like a second heartbeat layered under the city's silence. Then it becomes something else. Creaking wood, metal on stone, the snap of rope under tension. The Mongol siege engines are active. You go to the library roof. To the east, across the Tigris, the sky pulses orange. Naphtha, Greek fire, arsing over the walls in slow, burning curves. 1,000 Mongol engineers recruited from China and Persia are dismantling Baghdad's defenses with mathematical precision. The eastern wall was already weak. A flood damaged it 3 years ago, and the Caliph never ordered repairs. Tonight, the Mongols find that weakness immediately. Their spies have been in this city for months, disguised as merchants. You watch a section of wall, the Ajami Tower southeast, aglow red from the fire behind it. Then it cracks. Not a collapse. Not yet. Just a long, deep fracture running from the top of the tower to the base. Like a fault line, like a warning. You have 8 hours, maybe less. You go back to the books. 4 hours left. January 30, 1258. Before dawn, city center, just before dawn, 3,000 soldiers and citizens of Baghdad walk out of the eastern gate. They carry no weapons. They hold white cloth above their heads. Merchants, soldiers, scholars, children. They are surrendering, hoping Hulagu will honor his offer of mercy. You watch from a distance. The Mongol cavalry surrounds them in minutes, methodically, silently. Then the screaming begins. All 3,000 of them are executed on the spot. Hulagu's message is clear: the offer expired. Your hands are shaking as you load the last manuscripts onto the first horse. Yusuf helps you tie the bundles. Neither of you speaks. You have selected 242 texts. Out of 400,000, you have saved 242. Every book you left on that shelf, you left it knowing it will burn. There is no word for this feeling. It is not grief. It is not fear. It is something older and quieter. The specific weight of watching knowledge disappear and being unable to stop it. You lead the horses toward the western gate, toward the river, toward whatever comes next. 2 hours left, January 30, 2012-58, sunrise. The eastern gate falls at sunrise, not with a great crash, with a silence. The Caliph al-musta'sim opens it himself. He walks out wearing his formal robes, followed by his family and 3,000 of Baghdad's leading citizens. He carries his seal of office. He believes Hulagu will treat him with the honor due to a caliph. He is wrong. Hulagu receives the Caliph, then orders him imprisoned. Within the palace, the Mongols find a treasury: gold, silver, jewels accumulated over 500 years of the Islamic Golden Age. Hulagu places a golden tray in front of the Caliph. "Eat," he says. "It is not edible," says the Caliph. "Then why did you keep it?" asks Hulagu, "and not give it to your soldiers?" There is no answer the Caliph can give. Across the city, you hear a sound you have never heard before. Not the sounds of war. Worse, the sound of silence where sound should be. The call to prayer does not come at Fajr. The marketplace does not open. The city of 1.2 million people has gone completely quiet. Then the screaming starts, and it does not stop for 7 days. Time ends. The river runs black. February 13, 1258. 7 days later, you are 3 days west of Baghdad when you turn and look back. The sky above the city is a permanent brown, not clouds, not storm, but the smoke of 36 libraries burning simultaneously. The Mongols have been in the city for a week. The killing is still ongoing. Hulagu's own count, written in a letter to the King of France, will say 200,000 dead. Muslim historians will say 800,000. Some will say 2 million. The real number doesn't matter. What matters is that a city that took 500 years to build is being erased in 7 days. The Tigris River is 2 colors. Red from upstream where the bodies are, black further down where the books are. The manuscripts of the House of Wisdom, the medical texts that could have saved lives for centuries, the astronomical charts that mapped the stars, the translations that preserved Greek philosophy when Greece itself had forgotten it, they sink slowly into the water. The ink dissolves. The paper pulps apart. 500 years of the Islamic Golden Age dissolved in a river. You have 242 manuscripts on 3 horses. Among them Ibn Sina's Canon of Medicine, which will be used in European universities for the next 400 years. Al-Khwarizmi's algebra, which is still in every mathematics textbook on Earth today. An astronomical atlas, which will help future generations map the planets. You did not save everything, but you saved something. The Caliph al-Musta'sim was executed 4 days after surrendering. The 500-year Abbasid Caliphate, which had governed the Islamic world longer than the Roman Empire governed Rome, ended in an afternoon. Baghdad would not return to its pre-1258 population until the 20th century. The irrigation system that the Mongols destroyed to flood the Abbasid army was never rebuilt. For 700 years, the land that was once the fertile heart of civilization grew less and less. The House of Wisdom was never rebuilt, and yet some books survived, hidden in bags, carried on horses, buried in walls. The mathematics of al-khwarizmi survived, the medicine of Ibn Sina survived, the astronomy survived, not because a king saved it, not because an army protected it, because a handful of scholars on one night in January 1258 stood inside a burning world and asked themselves a quiet, impossible question: if you could only carry 40 books, which ones would you choose? Tell me in the comments.